March 2008. I have no idea what was going on in my life other than the fact that I was working at Norlake Manufacturing building transformers. Something must have been going on because I only read 3 books in March. So this is going to be a quick one. Let's get to it. The first book that I read in March of 2008 was Fires Rising by Michael Lamo. And it's the age-old story of a church that's being demolished. Something is found buried under the basement. Evil is unleashed, and Father Palazzo must fight it in that ultimate battle. There's homeless people that have been gathering around the church, very sort of Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter movie, great movie. But one of those ultimate battle between good and evil types of books. I enjoy Michael Lamo's writing. Fires Rising, Michael Lamo. And I'll admit right now, maybe should have said it at the beginning, I don't remember anything about any of these books. But the penultimate book for March of 2008 is The Halloween Man by Douglas Clegg. This takes place in Stonehaven, Connecticut. And there's a kidnapped child. There's a creature living in a mansion. And again, I think maybe the ultimate battle between good and evil. It's really difficult for me to find any sort of decent information about this. Even the reviews on Amazon, which I'll have to check out sometimes, people will give a nice synopsis of the plot. But apparently, alternating timelines. There's a character named Stony. As an adult, I think he's the guy that takes the child, maybe. But it'll jump back to when he was younger, and then back to the present, then back to when he was younger. Slowly, the parts where he's younger catching up to present day. The Halloween Man, Douglas Clegg. I really can't tell you anything about it. And finally, the last book that I read in March of 2008, The Witch by Mary Ann Mitchell. For some reason, I had a lot of trouble finding this on Amazon. I found some Mary Ann Mitchell stuff, but this book called Witch by someone else kept popping up. So then I had to Google it, and then I just got that other book again, and then finally found The Witch, so I could look up what the hell it was about. And it's from Medallion Press. As soon as I saw that cover, I was like, oh, this is one of those Medallion Press books that I was buying and reading back then. Well, The Witch is actually about 5-year-old Stephen. Well, his mother, she was the witch, and she's dead. She wanted Stephen to grow up and be a warlock, and just because she's dead doesn't mean she's down and out. Down in the basement, there's a box, and it has demons on the top of it, depictions of demons, and when Stephen bleeds on those demons, they come to life to exact his mother's revenge on the people that persecuted her, and possibly they're going to help her come back to life. We'll see. I enjoyed the Medallion Press books that I read. As far as I recall, they were all pretty good. I didn't read everything Medallion ever put out, but the stuff that I did read, I think was all right. And that's it. That's everything that I read in March of 2008. Apparently none of it very memorable. And the Douglas Clegg was probably leisure, and the Michael Lamo may have been leisure. Not 100% sure. I had to look them both up on Amazon, and they weren't leisure copies that were on Amazon. And of course, really difficult to think of a question when there's only 3 books that I talked about. So the question, I suppose, would be, what are the things that cut into your reading time? I try to read as much as possible. I think that's pretty obvious. But sometimes things cut in. I know back in June of 1986, I didn't read anything. There's nothing on the list. It's just blank. That's because I was in basic training. As soon as I got out of basic training, though, I was back to reading. Um, so there's books in the months that I was in tech school and books that I was in combat training. I think there might be one other month where there's nothing, but I don't recall when it is or why. But for those heavy duty readers out there, what is it that cuts into your reading time? Generally speaking, not like obviously you can't. Well, maybe you can read while you're at work, but work and things like that. But let's say you normally have. We'll make it simple. We'll give you an hour a day for the week. So 7 hours a week is how much you normally read. But sometimes you've only got 2 or 3 hours in that week. What is it? Um, for me, as I said, uh, there have been times when I've been dating somebody. That cuts into reading time, of course. I think it's probably just the general things, although occasionally, very occasionally, I just don't know what I'm in the mood for. Nothing is jumping out at me, and I end up uh, not for long times, not time periods, just a few days or so, either actually just watching TV or playing video games. I haven't played my Switch Lite in quite some time now, um, but I think it tends to be when I can't figure out what to read. Nothing is pulling my interest. I have thousands of books to read, and sometimes I just don't know what it is I want. Um, and then occasionally, like a few weeks ago when I went to the Puerto Rican parade in Cleveland, but that was just a 1 day thing, and I'm sure I did some reading before or after the parade. But what about you? What cuts into your reading time? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. Try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. And if you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Blue Sky in the description below. And that's all I've got for you this week. So until next week, read more books.